Welcome everybody to episode 7 of the Super Auto Podcast. This week we have on Doon. How you doing, Doon?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing not too bad, not too bad. So first off, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do in your life? I know you're probably still in school, but what do you do outside of SAP, or like, what are you into outside of SAP?
Well, not much really, honestly. I mean, I do like hang around and have fun with friends and stuff, but like I
Mhm.
don't really do much outside of that, sadly.
I respect the grind. You just go to school and then play SAP, and that's your day.
Yeah. I
Hey,
mean, I'm
that
out of school now, but like still.
yeah, that's fair enough. Um, how did you find and then get into SAP and competitive SAP?
Well, I first got into SAP. I know this is gonna sound funny, but by Northern Lion,
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Of course, yeah.
But almost, like it was really back whenever Pack 2 just released. I was like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
this game looks really cool. I'll try it out. And I started playing it
Mm-hmm.
to I think I originally started playing it like just at random, like just on and off, because I wasn't like a fan of it as a game,
Mm-hmm.
because it was still in its early development. But eventually, Pack 3 came out. I was like, oh, I'll play this. And
Mm-hmm.
Pack 4 came out. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I just kept on like getting into the game. And eventually, I found Team Tour, which I was like, yo, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I found out about Team Tour, set the rest is set there. It's like my whole
Yeah.
story's already unfolded.
Yeah, yeah. So wait, how did you find Team Tour?
I can't remember exactly where, but I think something about the main SAP server. Heard something about it. I was
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, you're probably one of the people that came into that link of the main server.
Yeah. I mean, I
Interesting.
came in four, but like I
Yeah, yeah,
I do SAP for a good while.
yeah. Um, so what made you want to like be a captain in Team Tour and like do it this season, and things like that?
Honestly, I was kind of surprised I actually became a captain. Like I know that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of funny to say, but like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I was like, "Yo, I should totally be a captain," I honest to God believe that but I thought they were just gonna be like, "Haha, that's pretty funny," and just not make me a captain.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, I did become a captain, so I was like, "Oh, now what?"
Yeah, yeah. And
Not
what?
not that I regret being a captain. It's like it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. We'll talk more about that in a bit about your captaining and things like that. I know that I
Yeah,
was one of the people who were pushing for you to be one of the people this season. Because I did
yeah,
feel like you would do a pretty good job.
yeah. I mean, the first 2 weeks kind of been a little shaky, but like
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
think I've been doing a bad job.
yeah, yeah. It's like just because your team is doing bad doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad captain. Those things don't really translate. Like we've seen like a lot of people who I think would be considered good captains have like bad teams. Like even like Marcoda, who I think most people think he's a pretty good captain. He's had a lot of bad teams, so I
Yeah.
don't
I
think those
mean,
translate.
if it says anything, I've not been on his team before, so
Yeah,
maybe that.
yeah. That's probably why. If he started
And this
drafting
is
you more, then he would start doing better. I agree with that.
surely.
Yeah. Mhm. So what was it like to be on the championship team last season, the Strawberryhat Pirates? Like, what was the team environment? How was that experience?
I mean, me personally, I felt so undeserving of it whenever we won last season. Like, not to say that like I'm bad. Oh, I shouldn't win. Like, it's
Mm.
just like I lost 5 games in a row after the update, and I was just like, damn, am I actually this bad? And then like it contemplated on me. It's like, and I kept on like overthinking it, and it's like at the end of the day, I got really unlucky, and even against matchups that were like really unfavored for me, I was very close to beating. So it's like,
Mhm.
you know, I was there for moral support anyway, so I did my job.
Yeah, yeah. You're more like the team cheerleader.
Yeah,
Um,
basically.
so I've heard a lot of things, but I want to hear it from the source. Like, how was Like, how was it to be in a team where like Hop was the captain? Like, what did he do as a captain, or even like Damon kind of as a co-captain? Like, is there anything specifically they did or did with you to help you as a player?
I remember like it wasn't late into the season, but I remember like around like I think week 2 or 3, I was really bad with like tilt and
Mm,
stuff where I would tilt to almost anything.
yeah.
And I asked them about, hey, can we work on this? Or hey, can you help me with this? And it's like we got into a call, they talked with me about it, got to, just like chill for a bit.
Mm,
And eventually I started to calm down a bit
mm,
and, actually more focus on the game. I I mean, I feel like I kind of missed that now, but hey, I
mm.
mean, I went against Saber and Anon, so maybe this week will be a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. You've had some tough matchups so far. Who do you play this week?
I think it's Catan.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh my god, that's gonna be so sick.
Yeah.
You versus
I
Catan on pack two.
I will I will say I don't know if it's very favored for me, but I know that everyone on my team think I'm gonna win.
Yeah,
So
I
hopefully I can get
know.
to this one.
Yeah, I know Catan has been struggling lately. From what I've heard. How much have you been practicing pack two?
For someone who doesn't main Pack 2, I've been pretty played it pretty well from at least from what Coke said at least. No.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you do have Coke on your team, who yeah, he is a good pack
Yeah,
two player that can help a bit. So
yeah. Thanks to Coke for, coaching me and stuff, I don't know if I
mm,
would have been able to do it without
yeah,
him.
Coke is a good guy.
Yeah,
Um,
he's pretty.
so this question is not really related to SAP. I want to know, how did you get into art and like what makes you like art?
I mean, honestly, like before I even went to SAP, I was like such a like an artist. Like I used to like make a bunch of like art for like not really people, but like for like myself
Mm-hmm.
and like just basically draw whatever I felt like.
Yeah.
And I remember also too that I eventually made like a bunch of OCs, a bunch of ideas. Because like in my personal opinion, I think I'm pretty creative at least, like or at least
Mm-hmm.
I've been told that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so every time I would like have a piece of paper and a pencil, I would always doodle on like little characters or like little like I call them doodles obviously, but like
Mm-hmm.
the actual things were called doodles, not like, like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
doodle.
Yeah.
If matter of fact, actually, I'm pretty sure my main like OC Dune is
Mm-hmm.
actually one of the doodles I drew for I think some card game. And it was like really like I got really attached to it to the point where it's now my mascot. So
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I definitely have seen you get into art a lot, or I've noticed that you're pretty into art. Which, that's why you
yeah.
help me and stuff like that.
I mean I also get into music a lot and even tried coding for a bit. So
Mm.
there's also that.
Yeah. Interesting. So what would you suggest to somebody who like wants to get into art or who likes art? Like, what should they do?
I mean, the most like straightforward answer I could probably give is practice. Like
Mm.
practice, like if you want to get good at art, I'd say probably practice. Even if it's bad, even if you have to sketch, just practicing will help it like get your arm to feel better to like draw and stuff.
Mm. So you're giving the Kyogre line of coaching.
I
Just
mean, like
just
it's the
just do
simplest
it.
answer you
Just
could
do
give,
it
but it's
and
the
be
most
good.
effective. So
No, no, I do agree. It's just funny when I hear answers like that, because it always reminds me now of Kyogre, who just
yeah.
says play the game and buy the good stuff.
I mean, obviously, drawing like uh and stuff is a little bit different than high rolling pets in a funny video game. But like,
Yeah, I
it
mean,
like
yeah, just a little bit maybe.
just a tiny bit of a skill difference.
Mm. Um, okay, so every episode we do a little bit of trivia. So this episode, this is your trivia question. There's two. Who was your first team tour set against, and who did you get your first win in team tour against?
Ooh,
Both of these would have occurred in season four, your first season.
yeah, I remember that season.
Yeah, that team was not very
That's a
good this
long
year
time
overall.
ago. Ah,
Yeah, that's like a year.
Man, it's already been a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My gut is telling me Wade, but I know that's probably from season 5, so that might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because Wade didn't play season 4. He was
Oh
in season
yeah,
5.
yeah. No, I was wrong then. Man, that's a long time ago. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
off the
Okay,
top
I
of my
can I
head.
can give you some hints. Okay. So the person that you played your first set against, they still play. They're EU. Um, they've been playing a lot of Pack 4 this season. Um, and it's a girl.
Oh,
So
well,
that
that's
lowers it
like
a lot.
that's very specific.
Yeah.
Oh, blanket. That's my
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
name.
you played
Yeah, I remember
Blanket in
that
your
because
first
I
set.
remember. How did I forget that? I literally like it's my most memorable set. Like,
Hmm. Yeah. Man, hey, I
uh,
remember my first team for set was against Gene as Dev. We were playing
uh,
Makoto's team in season 1 of the first week, and I played Gene as Dev, who was like a very low seed compared to what I was.
hmm,
And I won. That was what the
uh,
gist of it.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, if anyone knows what happened on the first time I played against blanket, you would know too.
yeah, I try
Let's
to I
just
try to
let's just
know.
say I did a Dune moment there.
Yeah, that was your first Dean moment.
In my
Um,
first ever Dune moment.
do you know who you got your first win against?
Definitely was not against blanket,
It was
that's for
not
sure.
against Blanket. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I know it was also in season 4 as well, because I
Yeah,
remember getting a 3-2 or something like that.
yeah. You played this person. I think it was the second
I, th
week, maybe
I
third,
almost
second
want
or
to say
third.
poke power, but I can't tell if that was actually a win or not.
Who?
Poke power.
Oh, Pokecraft. Yeah.
Or poke craft,
No.
poke power.
If you did beat them, it was after this person. I can't remember if you beat.
Probably. I might be wrong
Yeah.
that one.
This person was. Um. How do I explain this person? Okay, they don't play anymore. They have
Okay.
not done very good in the past. Um. Hmm. Oh God, I'm trying to think of ways that I can explain them to you.
I mean, I'm already kind of lost, so it's gonna be hard.
He was on. Let me think. Um. Hmm. Okay. He is in the SAP D&D group. I don't know if you know the members of
Oh,
this.
I know some are like Damon and I think Sag is also in the D&D group. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, he's in this. He's in that group. Let me keep looking for some more
it's like a
facts.
man, it's like a long time ago. Think, Dune, think. I think I'm
he
clueless
he
here.
was on.
I kind of
Yeah.
forgot.
Okay. I'm trying to think. If there's any other way I can describe the guy. Um. Hmm. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can get you there. I'll just tell you.
Well, I might have to throw in the towel for this one. This one's a real
Yeah.
brain scratcher.
Yeah. It was Drum.
Drum.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You,
that's
your
I,
first
I
team
thought I
for
lost
win.
that set to be honest, I'll be real with you. Like
Nah.
I thought I lost,
You
but I
did
guess
win
that
that
was my
one.
first win.
Yep. First win.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for the trivia part. So you are known for playing many crazy sets. What do you think is a crazy set that you've played in?
Now, are we talking crazy as in crazy how the fuck I got away with that, or crazy as in like my playstyle?
I mean, just like yeah. I mean, how it turned out, the plays you were making, maybe the plays they were making, like the most wild out of pocket set.
I think ooh, that's a good one. I remember uh I think it was in season 5. There was one game where I was really proud of, even though I lost.
Hmm.
It was like very hard to tell like how I got away with it, but I remember taking 2 games off of someone. I think using pack. I think actually no wait, it was pack 1, but I switched to pack 2 afterwards and then lost.
that
No, I'm thinking of different set. I'm thinking of Dune versus Crocs.
was the
Where I
season.
swapped to pack 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know how the fuck I got 2-3 with Crocs, but you know what? I
Yeah.
maybe it's just a little bit of Dune power, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good result though, all things considered.
Yeah.
So do you not have any other ideas of a crazy set you've played in?
I know for sure that Dune versus Booga was one of the most craziest
Oh,
sets
that
besides
yeah,
like
for
that I
sure.
actually that was actually not like against like someone high seed. You
Yeah, I
know?
mean, yeah, Dune versus Booga was amazing. That was content. You won that
Yeah.
set, didn't you? I
No,
think.
I
No.
barely lost because last game was a 5-0, and
Oh
I was like so
yeah,
upset about it because I was like, ah, I could have totally won that. I should have
yeah,
won. It's like,
yeah. Man,
yeah, whatever.
Booga was thrown so hard in one of those games. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly off the top of my head, but there was like
I
one
remember
game in there.
I remember hearing back whenever I was looking back at the games and stuff, and I remember hearing that I could have won in one of those earlier games. It was because of some unlucky breakpoints, which is so upsetting.
Yeah, but man,
But
yeah, I know Booga was doing some questionable stuff in that set.
yeah, granted, I also went crazy with a level 3 panda that game, and it was the most base thing I ever done in Team Tor 7.
Yeah, that's crazy. Um, so you kind of touched on this, I think. But this question is, what is your like, what's the best feeling moment in SAP, or or specifically like in comp SAP?
Hmm. Um, I mean, obviously, level 3 panda was a really crazy and fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though apparently he hit double hatching chick when I went level 3 panda, so it was a high roll versus high roll game. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one of the best feelings was when I beat Swap in the
Oh
first,
yeah, yeah.
well, not
Mm,
first week. I didn't play first week, but second week.
yeah.
Like that game, like especially since I was on like a pack 2 like struggling arc where I just had such a terrible matchup into it.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled out with a 3-2 at the end, and it was like so cool. And I felt
God.
so good afterwards, like I just climbed the mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is it? I'm pretty sure that's the set that you were wailing your 30-30
Yeah,
rooster.
yeah, yeah. I was like wailing because like 30-30 rooster. It was so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. That was so bad. Because I
It
was
was bad, but you know what? It worked in the end. It didn't
because
matter.
because I was on the other team and I'm watching this. I'm like, man, slap, you're losing to this guy. He's eating his 30-30 level 2 rooster with his
Oh,
whale.
yeah, it's almost embarrassing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I remember after the set, I think either the same day or the day after that Damon DM'd me and said, "Never do this ever again."
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I just started laughing at him like so fucking hard when I heard that. It's like,
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah, that was a tough set to watch for me being on the
yeah,
other team.
yeah, it was kind of funny set, but it
Yeah.
was so cool.
Mhm. So what is your favorite pet design in the game? You can go art style wise and also, maybe ability wise.
Well, I mean, obviously, I have kind of a hard like I have like a thing for Stoat, so Stoat is obviously my goat. He's
Mm-hmm.
even though he's in Pack 4 and don't play either. I don't really play Pack 4 that much. Stoat is like one of my favorite pets, even my favorite animal. Even like this
Mm-hmm.
guy is like amazing.
Yeah.
And ability wise, I'd have to say Jerboa. Jerboa is just so
Oh,
cool
Jabilla,
that it's
yeah.
like you if specific food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until apples were like made easily with like owl and worm, but like, even then, it's like pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fair. I know a lot of people are Jerboa fans.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I'm a Jerboa enjoyer, so even back before the changes and stuff, so I believed in them.
Mhm. Um, so next question: if you could make one change to the game, what would you do and why? Anything at all?
I mean, I feel like I've kind of had some ideas. Like, obviously, in the SAP, actual SAP server, I
Mm,
kept on making like ideas for like balance for like new pets and stuff. Even
mm,
like an entire new mechanic for like Unicorn Pack, which I think were called enchantments or something.
mm.
And but honestly, if I had to change one thing about the game, I'd probably say remove the battle pass. Like
Remove the
just make it a
subscription.
shop. I don't even care about the subscription. Like sure, it's kind of like a little sketchy, but like you know what? Just the battle pass is like honestly like just let us buy the things we want. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just let us buy it with snacks. You know, like
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So now we're gonna get into some viewer questions.
oh boy.
Yeah. So the first question is from your teammate Coke. He asks, "What's the story of drafting SAG?" Which I think that is a very good question because a lot of people didn't have you taking SAG. They had you go
Yeah,
for somebody different. So I want to kind of hear what
I
your thought
remember.
process was.
So I remember when I was like thinking about who to draft. I did
Mm,
have SAG on my thoughts, but it was mostly either Kai, Freets, or Damon. But Damon was pretty unlikely since I knew that if I picked him, it would be kind of awkward.
mm,
So the only two options were like Freets and SAG.
yeah.
It wasn't the fact of like I didn't like Freets or I thought Freets wouldn't fit on the team. It was more the fact like it was the fact I wanted Coke more on my team, you know? I
Mm,
think Coke's an amazing guy, and honestly, he's really good for a Pack 2 player.
mm,
So having him on like my team is probably a necessity.
yeah.
And not to mention, uh, even if I didn't pick Fritz and like if pick second, I chose Fritz there. I've been told by Coke that he isn't very like not social, but like he doesn't really talk much with his team and stuff. So I was like,
Mm,
hmm. So I thought hard about it, and even though I said originally that if I was gone or if I wasn't able to draft for some particular reason, that I told him to pick Freets, I
mm,
eventually picked Sag over Freets there because I was like,
mm.
you know what, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna pick Sag and try to get Coke,
Yeah.
and that was basically it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, yeah, I think it was a fair play. And I also have a question branched off a little bit off of Coke's question. I was just curious, like, what was your draft strategy going in, and why did you draft how you did? Like, what was your way? Because I haven't really talked to a lot of first-time coaches that kind of came in blind.
Well, usually since I'm new to like captaining, like you would think I would have like a lot of stuff like figured out for like what I planned.
Mm,
But honestly, I had a kind of a weird bump in the middle where obviously I was picking Freeze or Sag, and then obviously I was picking Coke. I had a
mm,
thought about Oscar, but I
mm,
didn't. But after I saw that he got a little bit lower, I decided to just gamble the Sag and Coke line. So
mm.
yeah, Oscar could have been on my team, but anyway.
Yeah. Like, so did you make like a draft board of people that you wanted, or like, how did you,
I made
what was your
I
process
think I
there?
made it I think I made an entire preferred draft list where it's like well not like a list, it was more like a number sheet where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and obviously 5 was me, so
Mm,
but basically it was Freet Sag, Oscar Coke, Coke Pigs United, Semi Booga. And
mm.
obviously I didn't choose Booga there, but I realized after Semi got picked, I was like, ah, man, now that I just realized that, that Semi was picked. How am I gonna get Booga on this fucking team? It's like,
Yeah, yeah. Um,
and eventually I narrowed it down to just being to Drazy instead.
mm. So yeah, question two about that is, so you drafted Pigs United, and you drafted him probably earlier than people had him going. Um,
Oh yeah, no, no.
so
I
we,
think the reasoning
yeah.
for why I picked sorry for interrupting by the way, but
No, you're good.
the reason I picked Pigs United over like some like someone like Venus or let's say Ruhan or not Ruhan. I guess Ruhan would have been good, I guess, but like someone
Rubio
around
was
that
yeah,
area.
yeah.
I think the biggest reason why I didn't was because I knew that if I passed up Pigs, he would just get picked before I can get to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he may not be as good as like let's say Venus or Rihan or something like that, I wanted him on my team mostly because I thought he would be a good like. I mean, obviously he was also told. I was told that he was good at weekly, so I mean, oh yeah, just slap him on weekly, boom. But like,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. I mean, even then, it's like he's really good at like creating new stuff. He's really good at like figuring out metas. And even though uh it's been kind of rough these past two weeks, I
Mm-hmm.
think honestly the biggest thing about Pigs United that I'm pretty proud of is his ability to figure out stuff. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I didn't know if you had like any insider info on like how good he was or if he was because that was somebody who I looked and saw that like maybe I would get if he ended up falling to me. He was like one of the people where in my 3/4 pick spot that on my
Yeah.
list of like 8 people or whatever that I would potentially take right there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously it's weird to pick pigs over like someone in the middle part, but like I think the biggest reason why, I mean, I also was kind of rushed because we were doing the Venus tournament while drafting, so it was like I
Mm,
had to quickly pick someone. And since actually, matter of fact, I think Nelson was almost picked by me because I remember Coke saying that he would want Nelson on the team. I'm like, I wanted pigs, but if Nelson is still there, I'll pick him. And
yeah,
lo and behold, Nelson got picked, so pigs
yeah,
United it was.
yeah. Sad days. Um, so the next viewer question comes from Rex Shadow, your former teammate. He asks,
Oh boy.
"Who's your favorite SAP content creator?"
Well, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, like there's a obvious like elephant in the room with that question where it's like, oh, I have Sag on my team. He's a good content creator. And don't get me wrong, I think his videos are great. Like he makes really cool content. And even though it's like his intros are very like bizarre in some ways, I think it's very cool that he is like one of the few SAP creators today that actually joined like the
Mm,
competitive scene.
yeah.
And even though he's not been like promoting it as much and stuff, like he's been promoting, of course, but like
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, this year I know he's been promoting it a lot. He hadn't like last season and before he hadn't really, but like this year he's been pushing it. He made a video about it. He's made a bunch of community posts about it. So
yeah,
he is pushing the comp scene a lot. So
yeah. But honestly, I know this is kind of a kind of a wild take here, but I think honestly I've watched Scooty the most, which is very funny to say.
mhm.
But honestly, even if he's not good at like competitive SAP, I think he's just there's something about Scooty that is just like interesting to watch. And even though it's like pretty basic of a choice, he's also kind of like pretty much pushed the the SAP scene to where it is now.
Yeah,
So I kind of feel like he kind of walked so we can run. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean for sure, Studi's a big content guy. Um, well, he's gonna be the reason why being a TO next season is gonna be so hard because
Oh God.
I don't know if you have known this, but on Cody's stream with the charity stream, we had like a goal. I think it was like 3K or 3.5K, and Scooty would join Team Tour, and we hit the goal. So now Scooty and Aggie are gonna join Team Tour next season.
Oh,
Um,
that's lit.
which means we're gonna get like a million signups. And yeah, I don't know how we're gonna deal with that, but
It's gonna
we're
be
gonna
absolutely insane. But you know what? I
yeah
think it could be very fun. I
yeah
think a lot of new faces, a lot more newer players and
yeah
stuff. I think it'd be pretty cool.
yeah. I think it's gonna be fun and it is good for the comp scene, but just from a TO perspective, it's gonna be hard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah yeah
It's gonna be mayhem.
Yeah, I also know your real favorite content creator is me, but you had to like leave me out of
I
there
mean,
because you
obviously,
don't want to be
there's
biased.
obvious
Yeah,
favorites, but if I had to pick,
yeah,
like,
yeah. You can't. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
if I
can't. You
couldn't be
gotta give
biased,
some other people a chance.
if I could be biased, I would say Scooty. But if I could be biased, it was you or Sag.
Of course, yeah. So next question, we actually have a couple. From Equi. The first question, you kind of did cover this. He asked, where did the name Dune Lagoon come from?
Well, I think the biggest thing that contributed to it is a card game I made back whenever a few years ago.
Mm,
And I remember being attached to one of the characters I made called Doom. He was just a little smiley face with little stick legs, and he was just kind of a little goober,
yeah.
little smiley fella. And I was so attached to him that I eventually like started like putting him on everything, and like even like made like a whole like array of like versions of him, and
Mm,
like little side characters and stuff. Even though the card game is dead at this point, I
yeah.
still hold his his icon to my name. It's like he's
Mm,
basically my face at this point. Literally.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I know one thing with Dune that is kind of a funny thing is that it's kind of like similar to what my real name is and stuff, which
Mm,
I don't care to really say out loud. I go by Dan online. Like I don't
mm,
care.
yeah. Interesting.
Like that's it's obviously not my true name, but like I like people just call me Dan instead of my actual real name.
Mm. The Equi is the next question. Yes. What are your thoughts on your name being turned into a meme, like getting Duned, for example?
I think it's actually not as insulting as people think it was. Because honestly, when I first heard the word doomed, I was like, wait, for real? This was cool?
Yeah.
And to this point, I think getting doomed on is one of the most funniest things I've ever seen like someone call like what I do. Like dooning, getting doomed on,
Mm,
doomed. Like even just the fact of like just putting doomed with ED at the end just was so funny to me. To
yeah.
the point where I even like embraced it to where I remember making a whole spreadsheet or not spreadsheet, Google Docs just
Mm.
about how to do. It's like unfortunately I can't share my secrets, so I
Oh
can't
yeah.
like share
Of
them with
course.
class, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I didn't I didn't I didn't lie about that promise. It's just you guys were not on my team.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question again from Equi. I don't know how the reporters let this one through. He asked, "Where do you stand on Tyler's dictatorship?"
Probably in the basement.
Yeah. Well, I look. This is a bad question, Equi, because we still have Dune on payroll, so he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not been paid for I haven't been fed.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Look, man. I'm not a dictator. I promise.
Come on, guys, please. I swear I've not killed people. I swear.
Okay. Next question comes from Violet. She asks, how have you enjoyed the process of creating your game, Pizza Cards?
It's honestly been I don't want to say it's been what's the word? Draining,
Mhm,
but because it's been really fun to like hang in VC and like work on a card game, especially since Pigs United is also like invested with this card game, so it's also like, kind of
mhm.
funny to see him like VC with us.
Yeah.
But basically, me, DSC, and Pigs United would get into a VC and just play the game. Like
Mm,
we'd have some other people along. Like we had uh I think Booga played it once. Uh I feel tried getting into it, but eventually stopped playing it.
mhm,
Um I remember Miss Terry got into it as well, which was really cool.
mhm.
But yeah. It's in a weird place where it's like the meta is like kinda getting more aggressive as units become better, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, yeah.
As for the question though, I think honestly it's been really cool, especially since like we're having to mix up the meta. So I think it's been pretty well. I've been enjoying it.
Interesting. Okay. Uh, Violet's next question comes. well, that's question. Next question is what made you want to start creating art like pizza cards or other certain drawings? So
Well, I
more
mean,
specific to the games portion.
well, I mean, I'll just say this first. I didn't make any of the art for pizza cards. It was literally just taken from the wiki. That game was all almost all just not mine. But but for other stuff, I think it's like pretty interesting to be creative because like if I force myself to draw one thing, it kind of makes me struggle a little bit, which is my
Mhm.
personal thing. Like obviously, if I need to draw a specific thing at the specific time at the specific angle, and it's like blah blah blah, blah, it's like not going to be as perfect as I want it to be because like sometimes I wouldn't even know how to draw it, like even with a reference.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty interesting to like make like a bunch of art for a game or like make a bunch of like little guys for a game and then basically turn it into an actual game. I think it's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think it's a lot different too because it's different than like just drawing stuff. Like you're actually like coming up with concepts, for a meta and things like that, than opposed to just like
Yeah, I
you
me
know.
I remember there's a few cards in the game where it's actually my drawing. And I think it's like
Mm,
a beehive kind of thing where it's like a pizza like beehive thing that like spews out bumblebees.
mm.
It's so funny because I made one of the bees just flip someone off. It's like so every time you like do damage to the hive, it's like it just summons two bees with like middle fingers. It's like
Yeah.
but
Uh,
yeah.
Violet also she asked this earlier. She asked ask if Dune likes Inscription that has a stoat in it. And
Oh my fucking I love Inscription. Like aside from the whole oh my god, I love Stoat. Like that game has amazing gameplay. The the story is amazing. The graphics are beautiful. I love it. I even love it so much. Like I even got invested with the other like games like Pony Island. Pony Island 2 is actually coming soon. And the Hex. It was like so good. I loved it.
uh wait, is my stream crashed?
It's
I think my internet is dying actually.
oh no.
Finish out the record. Let's finish up recording here because that's about all I had anyways for the questions portion.
No
Um,
more questions.
no more questions. But yeah, I mean, either way, thanks for coming on. Appreciate that, and yeah, I'll see you later.